Hey crew, I hope you all are doing fantastic. I have an S tier middle tree Voidwalker build on the Warlock for you guys today, and man, does this build put in some work. The gameplay you are watching is the 1350 Master Lost Sector Bay of Drowned Wishes in the Dreaming City, and we clear this thing in literally 3 minutes and 25 seconds, which is really great when you basically get an exotic drop every 3 runs or so. The only content harder than this is the Grandmaster Nightfalls, so this build can definitely hold its own. We're combining Nova Warp Subclass that got a few changes and buffs recently, like 70-something% more damage with our super against PvE enemies, which you will see here in a minute when we get to the boss in the Lost Sector. And also Handheld Supernova got a 100% damage increase, I believe, in PvE, so our super and abilities are much stronger. We don't use Handheld Supernova very often, as our normal grenade is much better for ad clear and proccing dark matter from our subclass, which we'll go over in a second here, but Handheld can put out some damage, so against single target enemies, it's definitely viable and decent. Later in the video as well, I go over a few different mods so you can slot in if you don't have the mods that I go over in the video, and also the mods I would slot in if I was running easier content like your General Strikes and Gambit or Shadowed Realm, stuff like that. This build is all about getting our scatter grenades and our abilities back as quickly as possible and spamming them out. Scatter grenades are so good for ad control and for proccing dark matter on the subclass that you basically run around with unlimited grenades and throwing them very often, as you see in the gameplay. The only time I'm not throwing a grenade is when I'm literally dealing with a champion, and that's about it. At the end of the day, you should be able to keep uptime on all your abilities and always have them available, and also regen your super very fast because of some of the mods we're going to be using. Cass, which is one of the ship crew members in my Discord, mentioned this build maybe like 10 days ago or so, and I finally got to messing around with it, so thank you for mentioning it, I appreciate it. And just think, when Witch Queen comes and Void 3.0 comes, how much better all of these Void builds will be. I want to do a Titan one soon and a Hunter one, but these Void builds with Void 3.0 when Witch Queen drops are going to be insane. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then hit that subscribe button for me and become part of the crew here. Also, the links to my Discord and Twitch are in the pinned comment down below, so join up and say hi. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me, and there will be one of those images for the entire build somewhere in this video for you guys that watched my last Titan video. You know what I'm talking about. Screenshot that image for your use, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's better than the last one. I tweaked some things, so hopefully you like it a little bit more. Okay, so let's go over the subclass perks real fast, because dark matter right here is the most important one. Void ability kills grant health and melee, grenade, and class ability energy. So any void ability kills, which is our grenade and our melee, gives us ability energy to everything, and it even heals us, which that's when you see my health jump really fast when I'm weak, is because I got a void ability kill. We have our super, which is Nova Warp, step between dimensions to subvert the laws of physics. You can teleport while in your super. You can also hold down your super, and that unleashes the deadly void eruption, and it's really big and looks really cool. You have Atomic Breach. This is your melee ability, and it creates a void explosion. It also pushes back the enemy, and when that void explosion goes off, that damages other nearby enemies. And we have our Handheld Supernova. Press and convert your grenade into a short-range void blast on release. This is really good against single target for some extra DPS. It can clear 3 or 4 ads, but you got to make sure you land all of those little Handheld Supernovas when you throw them out. And then last but not least, we have Scatter Grenade. You want to be using Scatter Grenade because it's going to tie into our exotic. And this grenade splits up into a bunch of little grenades. It does some really good ad control and ad clear. And with our exotic, it makes it even better. Also on screen now is my current artifact. Yes, it cost me 100,000 Glimmer to reset this thing. But this is my current artifact. No, this is not always my artifact because I reset a lot. But this generally is the one that I'm using on my Warlock. Let's go over all our mod choices because that's what really pulls the build together as always. And we'll cover the exotic here in a second. On our helmet, we have Bountiful Wells. Elemental Well mods that cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack, spawning additional wells for each additional copy of the mod you have equipped. Now, you only need to have Bountiful Wells on to take advantage of Grenade Ordnance. So when we throw a grenade, every time you see 2 Void Wells popping out, that's because we have the Grenade mod on and we have Bountiful Wells. We only need those 2 to make 2 Void Orbs. So Bountiful Wells on our helmet, and then we double stacked Ashes to Assets on our helmets as well. Gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. This is what keeps our super coming back very fast, and you're throwing so many grenades that you're getting your super back very quickly. Our exotic of choice is Nothing Manacles. These are D1 exotics that they just brought back recently, and I really like these exotics. They look really cool and they're fun to use. Scatter Charge is the perk that the exotics bring, and you gain an additional scatter grenade charge. So we have 2 charges of scatter grenade, and it enables tracking for scatter grenade projectiles. It's not every projectile that tracks, it's literally only 2 or 3 that track on every grenade. So the tracking is okay, it's really just the 2 charges, and we're taking advantage of those 2 charges with Dark Matter from our subclass that we went over, and from some of these mods that we're going over right now. Also on our gauntlets, we have Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. And when we defeat that combatant with a grenade, we're spawning 2 because of Bountiful Wells. On our gauntlets, we have Unstoppable Fusion Rifles because we are doing a 1350 and dealing with champions. So this allows our Null Composure and our 1K to stun champions, or anything like a linear fusion rifle that you're using. All of it's for stunning unstoppable champions. We also have Overload Bow, so we can stun Overload champions, and our bow is in our primary. On our chest piece, we have Protective Light. While charged with light, you gain significant damage reduction anytime that your shield is broke. On our boots, we have Elemental Charge. You become charged with light by picking up an Elemental Well. If the Elemental Well matches your subclass element, you gain 2 stacks of charge with light. So we're becoming 2 times stacked every time we pick up one of those Void Wells, and we're spending it on Protective Light because this is a 1350 and we need to survive. On our bond, we have Seeking Wells. Elemental wells you create will move across the ground towards nearby players. I really like this mod. It's a new mod this week. And as you can see in some of these clips, I sit there and stare at the Void Wells, and they just literally track across the ground and follow you around, which I think is really cool and really useful in harder content, because it really sucks to have to go get a well when you need that well, especially if it's something that's proccing like Protective Light to protect you, right? And then your fire team members don't have to go get them either. They track to your fire team members. Is this mod 100% necessary? No, you can switch it out, but I liked it. We also have Particle Deconstruction, of course, because we're running Unstoppable Fusions and Linear Fusions to deal with Unstoppables, so we get that extra damage. And then these are the 3 weapons I was running. Primary Bow, Secondary Fusion, Heavy was 1K. Your Heavy can be something like Threaded Needle Linear Fusion or the new Trials one. You can also run a different fusion in your secondary other than Null Composure. You can run Plug 1 for Arc if you need some Arc shields. On screen here in a minute, you'll see some videos that maybe you haven't seen yet. If you guys would click on them, go give them a watch. If you're interested in them, that really helps the channel out. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Any comments you have, leave them down in the comments and I will respond to you guys. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.